myself, I'm like, hey, girl, like, we done completed some dope shit. Like, oh, you can't tell me that, like, I ain't knocked a whole bunch of shit off the damn box, off the market. Like, out the box, like, oh, no matter what the fuck anybody else been doing, like, I have been poured into my goddamn self. Like, oh, I have been doing it. I've been doing it. I've been doing it. I've been doing it. And I've been doing that shit for myself and for my girls, like with my girls every step of the way. And I be thinking about my boys, like the ones that, is in my life, in my circle. I be like, damn, like at some point we got to catch up. Like I got to be able to give them something too. Like they need something from me too. I just got to figure out how that's going to look because I know it's comfortable this way for me. And like, yeah. And they go, and the girls is going to be at the right age to like throw it to them and play it like, I just got to touch them through my girls because I don't really got that many, like, whatever is happening on that side. Like, yeah, I don't really know how to touch it. Like, every time I tried to touch it, it wasn't really a good thing or whatever. Like, I was having resistance on, like, how I could get to my boys. Like, you don't get to talk to them no kind of way either. You don't get to treat them no kind of way. You know they human, right? Like, I mean, I may not ever had a father for real, but I've had some older men that I'm like affectionate to, that I'm connected with, and I'm like, all right, and they tell me about some of their heartbreaks and shit, and like whatever. Like I get to understand how they translate music and like how they walk the world and like what breaks their heart, what be hurting their feelings, and I'm like, okay, like I can see it this way, and like yeah, I'm carrying my brother. So I'm like, how would I want to zap? And I had made a statement to like out in the world, like, I don't really know how to, look at men. Like, I don't really have that many healthy relationships with men like that. That's acceptable or anything in this society at this time. Like, this shit is horrible. Like, I don't really know who he's supposed to be on like the emotional side, even though I've seen different moments. Like, it's dirty. And somebody was like, they the same as you. Like, just like you got emotions, they got emotions. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really know what it means to me though. Like, I don't know if I should care. That's the part. Like, yeah, they got emotions. So what? Like, so the fuck what? What does that mean in comparison to like what I should do with them? Cause I got emotions too, and if they got emotions and like they don't care or like y'all ain't got no emotions, period. Or y'all don't care about nobody else's. Like, it just was getting confusing. So I'm like, I'm just gonna leave the boys alone for the most part. Like, yeah, they got their own separate thing. And I can send them information on how to like help each other, and I can have like a couple around me and like whatever. Like, it's only one that's real consistent. And like be checking in and checking out. And that's Elmer. Like on a consistent, like he done outlived everybody on the male spectrum in my life, like everybody, no matter what. And I was like, okay, I don't know why we not talking, although I'm very well probably aware. And I'm like, how I know, it don't matter. I know, like, I'm like, somehow people being brought into like conversations that they really ain't supposed to, or maybe they can, it don't matter, like, but I don't understand why or how, or like somebody trying to set me up, or if I'm supposed to like, hey, I don't know what the fuck is happening, and like I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna be sad because like I don't want to even say that to you. Like I would say it, but not to you, and I don't understand why, and it just was feeling like so much loss was happening. And I'm like, oh well, like I'm just gonna tell the truth, whatever's coming out, like figure it out. Like something in here is talking about CSIs and all that. Well, take this shit and figure it out. Like go there and get some money. That's all I care about at this point is the motherfucking dollars. Like get a diverse portfolio, get that shit out the way. Like get it out. Like nigga, I just went to Africa by myself, and I'm like, and I hate that they say Africa, but I get it. Like I just went back home by myself like a whole bunch of times, and I'm like, I prefer to do it this way, then reach myself up to the top so that like I can help bring everybody else along from the damn bottom. Y'all just be like, I can go right here. That's it. Like okay, that's cool. You can sustain all of that, and then like, cause that's where you like, I want y'all to come, but like, nigga, it's a bunch of us that like, we can't get there that way. How y'all helping us out? How y'all getting us there? Like, what's the flight prices? How y'all like? Are y'all making it special for us? Are y'all like giving us stuff? And it's like, even if it's comparable to them, like, I can try to get it together. Like, I'ma figure it out. I ain't gonna come over there and like try to disrupt anything. Like, I want to figure out how to bring us up. Like, that's the plan when we come over there. And then I'm like, and not for everybody, it ain't got to be a business. Like, yeah, you got to be careful how you bring the business over. Like, it's still supposed to be family. So how about we get some new structures and like tap back into our divinity and our own stuff and figure out how to touch and tap into people. And I'm like, well, I've been following like Akon was the one, Akon and Gaddafi and the banking systems, and I was like, well, let me go touch it so I can make it make sense to me. Like, cause the way they teach anything here is confusing. I'm like, nigga, do you know what it is? Like, what is it? And I'm like, so we was using a ruler. Did they say like a foot? So like, what is that? And like, I'm in South Africa trying to figure out the conversions to the metric table, and I'm like, I feel dumb. I can't even like just pop everything up out of my head like to do the conversions like neatly and like where it ain't an issue, and I'm trying to answer some questions, and I'm trying to like have a full conversation. I'm trying to get some instruction. Like, oh, this shit is stupid. Like, we so tapped out from the rest of the world. And it could be okay and cool if it was just like that was what our thing was, and like we was over the top to everybody. And also like, we ain't give ourselves no grace. Like, we ain't give us nothing for when we go out there. Like, we left ourselves so exposed. Anything can happen. But then we pick up on the other side, obviously, like, shit. I'm like, hey, I went over there, over here, over there. And this is what it is. Like, if you touch me or mine any kind of way, even in my shit, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And I'm like, do you have that? Like, what kind of mother are you, or what kind of mother instinct do you have? Like, what the hell is going on? And like, why? What am I supposed to do? Like, and still be culturally acceptable? Like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm gonna tap all their asses down here. And that's gonna have to go. Oh shit. But I gotta know that if my babies thought that shit was okay, like I don't traumatize them right now, like, or oh, whoo. I'm like, is them boys putting a rope over my kids' damn neck right here in South Africa, on the land of like Shaka Zulu and Nelson Mandela and Winnie and like the rebellions and like the soldiers and the like, who are they, Dutch? Where the fuck they say they come from? France, Dutch, Germany. Oh, what the fuck? Like, am I supposed to tell her how important is this in the scheme of the government? Like, or anybody, how these niggas get here? I gotta ask them, hey, how y'all get here? Like, they use the same site that I did. No, I think they something and like somebody giving out some money. Nah, for that shit. No, they don't get to do that. Hell no. Hell motherfucking no. Y'all niggas thought that y'all bought free tickets out here to play hang a nigga with my kids. And that shit left me so confused. Like, what the fuck they teaching them boys over there? Like, before I chop their ass off, I know they get different education. Like, Nyra don't even give a fuck. Like, his ass supposed to be dead. Like, I done knocked all their asses out. Just on the strength of it. Of them two. I'm like, oh, I gotta figure this shit out. Like, and then probably other stuff started happening. And I was like so close to leaving. Like, I was overwhelmed with so many different things in my environment and against my beliefs, like in a short period of time. I was like, whoa, like I knew some stuff was overinflated and I didn't care about some stuff. And some stuff where I'm like, you didn't even try to be considerate to me. But we're like very considerate to them in this aspect to me. Like my aunt spent all that money for everybody and like nobody thought like, oh, she has a strict diet. Like she's out here, she's paying for it. We're gonna get some things that she like first. And she's just like, well, it's just me and everybody else, so like I can sacrifice it. And I'm like, no, you don't do that. And you don't even look at it. It's in reverse to you, but it should be reversed to them. Like, this is a gift. This is a treat. What do you mean? What are y'all doing? Like, do y'all need that much? You got to be like that. Like, y'all don't have to spread it out. You don't have to get like this type of meat and then like these type of vegetables and put them on the grill for her. Or even if you just bought like a serving for her, like out of all that. So she spent 100 and something dollars of her hard-earned money down here, and like y'all gave her some corn to put on the grill down here, like. And we came, and it was the cloudiest day, and the sun. And she was just like, whatever, like I knew when she realized that like what had actually happened, her feelings were so hurt. She was like, "Oh, y'all are so ungrateful. You're incredibly ungrateful. You are ungrateful, and it's okay. Like, but if I was somebody else, that's exactly how y'all would have been seen, or whatever. Like, this is a disappointing day, and we just gonna try to put a smile on it. Like, I'm gonna be excited over here, cause how the hell these white people over here just like what are y'all showing me right now? I can't even explain it. And even in the car, I'm like, yeah, at least put some music on. Like, I can get with that all the time. Because me like, no, they don't get to celebrate shit. And I'm like, well, she said it. Like, why you ain't want to tell them yourself? Because I wanted you to say it. Huh? Like, your feelings hurt? Like, I mean, your head hurt? Well, you could have said that. You scared? I'm just like, wait, my niece, I know she timid, like she a little shy thing, but like, she's scared to tell them to turn the music down. Like, no, you have to say it then. And I'm like, I mean, I guess she don't, but why you scared? Why wouldn't you? Why, like, what's she gonna do? Why wouldn't you just tell me? Like, how important is that? Like, I don't really understand that, and I don't feel it. I don't feel it, and I'm still gonna say that whatever happened, happened. Like, I know your mama can be petty and be on some bullshit. I don't really understand what was going on in that moment. And I know that when I went to South Africa, I was like, felt at home. Like, at home, I went as a volunteer. I was going to do my own shit. Like, I'm going to get over there. And the first time I had my niece Kalani with me, and I'm like, yeah, we over here in South Africa together. And even every time I made it a whole experience. Like, we can catch the megabus equivalent over here. Like, you can live over here if you want to live over here. I know y'all want to do some different stuff too. Like, the girls talk about London and all of that. Well, like, let's see how close you would like it. So, like, if we in South Africa, you got the beach. Like, it's probably gonna be the water. Or like if you come up with a little bit more money, because I'm like, I'm gonna do it at the bottom so the kids know that they can start down here. Like, and like, where can you get comfortable and decide you want to work your way up if you here, or however you making money or whatever. Like, you can come down for this much a month in this environment and you can work your way up just like you do here, or you can be like, I'm coming down like this and I can create some of this while I'm over here, so I can go in and everybody can already do it. Like, it's just easier for me to do it over here. That's all. Like, I can maintain stuff over here. I can come back and forth for meetings. Like, whatever it is, like, I can still have property here and make sure that I'm using everything over here to make sure everything's taken care of over there as I build over there. The thing is, since I'm over here, of course, everything is still tapping down at home because I still got to pay this, I still got to pay that, I still got to maintain that. So, like, the home is still getting fed too. The garden at home is still getting fed too. And based on what makes sense, like, we tapping in on each side of the fence. Like, it ain't got to be no competition. I'm taking this from there and like, no. And I'm like, and some stuff we just need to give a break. Like, just give the shit a break. Just give it a break. Yeah, it ain't no problem. It's just so many people do it, like, or whatever. Like, is it? I don't know. I'm like, everybody got a saying, and yeah, you can put it on the shirt. And I did the same thing, cause like, that's what it is, and everybody needs to cover something. I'm like, okay, how about this? Like, how about y'all be honest about some shit, and then we just cover this, and then everybody can just like work and do something else, or something like. I was trying to create my community. I'm like, okay, so I need the energy. I need the currency to be in the form of energy exchange. But I don't know how to break that down to the people, to the majority of like, cause I know when I'm building, it's gonna tap out like quick, like it's gonna blow shit off across the water, like of course as it should. But it's gonna we gonna overpower them quick. We gonna come up as the big boys, like quick once they catch in, cause like I'm bringing shit in, like everybody gotta go through the test, through the fire, like oh they gonna have to go and they gonna have to use, like I'm gonna make sure that no matter what, I'm touching in on what's mine, like whatever happened if they fell in the fire or like my girl come up, cause I'm like she right here and it's going on. If one of mine get up here, like he already interested or whatever. If one of mine can catch the board and catch the eye, like shit, this shit belong to them. Well, actually, it belonged to me or us three or whatever. Like everything he said about his sister, his partner, him creating business for me. I'm like, yep, that's what we was here for. No matter what, we can create businesses across the yard. And this is kind of like I'm trying to give you a blank picture of what I already got together. Like I'm just always missing the other piece, and I'm like, no, because I can't. I'm not working for nobody. Like I can work with you, and I don't have to be tied to nothing that's gonna make it seem like I gotta do no work. Like I can't commit to that. Cause even if I'm just over here, like then I'm over here, and like yeah, we could do this. Or if I'm like no, just no strings attached. Like let's get out there and have a good ass time, a good ball. So back to this currency, I'm like, I'm just gonna buy land across the board. Like they doing it, and I want my shit back. So I'm gonna work on this case, and then as I'm getting this, I'm gonna be taking them to work on that. Like no, you don't get to do it. But first, even before, like, if I can work on them simultaneously, that's cool. Cause I gotta get over here and make sure I let their asses know not to let them in. Like, y'all can't, them niggas can't come over there and give y'all nothing else. Don't y'all take nothing from them. We ain't over that. We ain't whatever y'all think, whatever is coming in on y'all advertisement. Like, that's not what we doing. I'm like, damn, my ass was over in Zambia, and I'm appreciative of the fact that they asses is so transparent. Like, I ain't gotta figure that shit out. Like, I'm gonna read everything that's touching my body, like, and I'm trying to figure it out, and I gotta break it down my little quizzical ass, like, okay, am I about to really do the research right now? Fuck it. Sometimes I got a minute. Like, what is this? And then I'm like, oh, it's too much. Like, yeah, I want to know exactly what it is because I'm like, I can actually make this at the house. I just gotta get the technique and shit right. Like, yeah, I don't really gotta make. I don't gotta go outside. Like, and I can. Like, I can get to do other stuff. But like when it comes back down, like nigga, I'm at the house. It's gonna be fresh, especially the shit that they done been feeding us. Like everybody open a restaurant for what? And I'm like, let me not be like that. Let me not be like that. And I'm just like, oh, I need my money for my shit. Like everybody get to do what everybody want to do, and mine's is gonna be so quiet, like so quiet, like so lively, like so. Oh, I'm like, man, I hit a certain spot and it was like right here, let's build right goddamn here and we can make this shit celebration. It's like it ain't gotta be hard at all, whatever we want all day, every day. Like let's just skip all the fucking hard shit and go straight to motherfucking fun. Like in our own backyard. Hey, everybody had their chance, you did this, I've been looking at this, or this came out, or like who did what, like under that partnership. Well, why would they wait for him? And what was happening? Like, what they trying to set my brothers against again? Like, did he even understand? Because you just assume that they all know, like, how many countries and cultures we got and what's going on. Because if you think that that's the biggest deal, because I don't, whatever they doing, I don't care about them as an individual. I'm looking behind the fence every time, like, what y'all got going on over here? I ain't gotta look into yours. Mm-mm. I know automatically you feeding the line. Yo, shit. Your best fertilizer for yours. And depending on how dirty you are, like you got other shit and that's going out another way. And you putting barcodes on it or whatever. Like, mm-mm. Mm-mm. I'd rather not try to guess if y'all trying to kill me, like, or why, or I don't care. A nigga trying to kill me and they like, well, why won't you take it? Y'all know that them niggas don't like us, right? Like, we talk about that shit all the time. Y'all know they bribing y'all. Y'all like, it's worth the bribe. Alright. They ain't really around here killing themselves, are they? So why they do it? Why they keep doing it if they be like, okay, I'm gonna live. It's just getting to die. Chrissy said, yeah, no fucking thanks. Hey, Chrissy ass had me dying, cracking up over here. I'm like, hey, your ass is wild. And I'm like, what is you doing? Like, whatever you doing, you getting on my nerves sometimes. And I'm trying to be considerate of your feelings and all the shit you got going on. Like, I told your ass I wanted a break for a minute. And you like, nah, I gotta come now. I gotta come now. I'm like, why? Because you want to get away from Muhammad ass? Like, so what? You would stay your ass over there for a couple other days. I was like, is he doing something? Like, you think he gonna put his hands on you? Cause I come over there and beat his ass. Like, he ain't about to do that. Like, you worried? Why you gotta come over here so fast? And then I'm like, no, wait, Chrissy, did he put his hands on you? Like, I know it's rumors or something. Like, I don't know how I know, but like, I don't know, but it's a possibility that he could, or even if I don't think that he would. Like, I don't know him for real. That's your man. Like, you chose him. I don't. You just popped up with him. I'm like, what the fuck is you doing? Okay, though, like, you all ass wants some security, and I'm like, well, whatever. I'm like, all right. I'm like, he Muslim with the Nation of Islam. I'm like, all right, cool. They got some morals and shit, and they be known for some other shit too. Like, they known for hitting women behind the closet, in the closet, like behind closed doors. And I'm like, yeah, it's usually something like that when you think about like men in religion or men like once they realize that they've been letting another man boss their ass around, they get like real belligerent. They start feeling some kind of way, but it ain't like never directing and where it's supposed to go. I'm like, yeah, nigga, you mad, but don't be mad at me. Like, shit, I ain't tell your ass to go to work. I ain't tell you. I actually kept telling y'all that y'all shitting. Like, y'all niggas want to pout at me. Like, stick your head out in the tub and like, I'm like, hey, they know I'm brilliant, right? Like, they know that I'm real smart. Like, I do know business and I do listen. And I'm like, I'm the motherfucker in this bitch, like, all the time. Like, that got some real fucking talent and like all that shit. Like, I'm Tony Stark and they over here like, oh, we know when the movie come out, we just gonna go watch it. And I'm like, well, can't we just like create my own goddamn currency, like my own communities, like my own superhero shit. Like, we ain't got, I'm looking at the budgets and I'm like, well, what do y'all mean? Like, how much is we supposed to pay each other up here, like in this one profession? Like, the rest of us don't get to get out. Like, it ain't no other restaurants. Like, it gotta be McDonald's. McDonald's. Like, y'all gotta have franchises and they gotta be McDonald's. I'm like, well, I guess if y'all do that, Phil and Philippe gonna be able to make franchises off of getting y'all asses in shape. Like, I'm like, imagine if we could do something else. Like, so it's gonna be more buildings and like, yeah, you could like shit. Then this is what it is. Then put that shit on the dollar. Like, yeah, make your own currency and do some other shit. And like, yeah, like let's build up. So you all know from the jump, instead of going to Bally's, y'all can go right here. Go ahead, and he got everything for you, and you gonna pour into this empire. Cause why wouldn't you? Yeah, you get something from nothing. Like, and it ain't when you get nothing. You gonna get quality. You gonna get something for something. And like they been letting that something for something be a whole lot of them. But I'm like, well, as long as you getting them, I'm gonna stay my ass on the other side. Like I'm gonna leave. I'm sharing. Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, I feel like y'all been slinging a lot of goddamn dick around. Yeah. A whole lot of dick. And then when it come to me, like my ass don't get none. I gotta be left unsatisfied, like across the board. I'm like, they ain't think they singing to me. Somebody talking to me. Who trying to talk to me? Like, why? Why? Because I know that I just hit the bank. Like, no, I have just hit the bank. I knew that. I'm like, it's something else that I'm missing that was like supposed to, I was supposed to be humble. For a minute, I'm like, I ain't about to be humble. Like, I'm about to get on my fucking gully just like you was. And like, I know you gonna try to stop it. But no, like, somebody think that my ass did more sacrifice for somebody that I just met at any point in time. Like, that like I had to give honor to somebody else before myself. And like, trying to force it for they shit. Like, I'm like, wait, what? It's going on. Why would at any point in time that I have to do anything outside of like what I'm being guided to? And if I'm about to use the tarot to like start spotting bullshit across the line real quick, like what the fuck is you trying to do? Be confusing? Like you just called me and said all this shit for this and this and this and like my head opened up and I'm like, okay, Nugget, like you found a way to communicate with me. Great, we here. And she was like, how do you know? And I'm like, how do you know that I know that you can do it or that you here or like that you would try? I don't know. I just figured that like you love me as much as I love you and like it sucks, but I'm tired of trying. And like I'm tired of playing with anybody's baby mama or anybody's mom or anything. And I'm so sorry that that has to be like your reality because I love you. Like you bring me joy in life and it just get hard trying to keep up with you and your mom and her schedule and your schedule. And whenever I do call, like you never with her, or if I try to call, like it's just so much to keep layered. And I'm just a little overwhelmed and heartbroken and like tired already. Like I already have my own stuff. I don't really chase after nobody. I don't play games. I had already said from the beginning that like it was probably gonna be a big issue and complicated. Like I did voice my opinion and voice everything. Like you know what? I don't really have to talk to you. No, we ain't got to talk. That's perfectly fine. Like we was heading there anyway, cause you've been acting like a little bitch or something. Like you've been doing way too much stuff that I don't really appreciate. And then like I had it all like you just trying to figure some shit out and I'ma let you. And if that's what you figuring out, yeah, you can do that. Like it's cool. It wasn't a big deal. And then it was like, and I'm like, well, all right, like bet on that then. And then like I'm like, what the hell you crying for? Like, girl, you better stop that shit. Like for what? Cause you thought she was a friend or like a little sister. Like, yeah, but so what? Like, and that's cool. And she was like for that time we just X out. And I just want to know like what's this gonna look like? Cause like this shit is real. And I really mean that I ain't fucking talking to you no more. Like, so let's just make arrangements. And even in my head, and even when I was giving out all the instruction, I said she can come through me. If she gonna come through, she can come through me. Like, if it's contracts being made, and like we talking about Nuggets still being in my life, then like she ain't damn. I don't have to go through nobody in their family. Like, not for real. I can go through my people. Like, or I can go through Damon and Brenda if that's the appropriate like channel. Like I don't have no problem with Brenda. It feel like she done did good. If she done came a long way. She done transitioned a lot. I was like, so if they trustworthy, like that's where I would want to be. Like they can just, I can talk to Sophia when she with them and whatever. I was like, or not, I can let go and like if it's real, she'll come back when she old enough and we can be in from there. And then or maybe it was supposed to be a season. Like I'm used to that. I'm used to that. I just like really wish it could be something else. Like at any point in time, like it's never anything else. I'm always considerate of everybody else and their kids and their families and like their dreams and their space, and it just don't really ever really seem like people put in the same consideration or the same thought or anything. And I'm like, what kind of world do we live in? Because I'm like, y'all give them so much grace. Like, oh my gosh, y'all give them so much grace. Like, y'all run to the room. And I'm like, okay, at least down here, like when you go in, you think it's all black. Like you ain't aware to know that like somebody else is making some money or profiting off of you. You just like, hey, this is where I get to really like be myself and find my tribe. And I'm like, oh, we can keep schools up however we want. Like, and over here, we gonna know it. Like over here, the boys decided that like they want to be together and they want to have a school and they can pop it like this. And over here, they like, okay, we can do the same thing and it's gonna be both of us like together, like we can work together. And over here, it might be just the girls. Like they was doing that shit all at Atlanta, like all throughout Atlanta. I'm like, you got Spelman, you got Howard, you got. I was trying to kick them all. I'm like Clark. I'm like, I'm like Emory or is it Ellery? I'm like, you got all of those just in Atlanta, like on the block. Oh, they pushing us out, like they pushing out gold. So what's happening? Like, where are we? Where are we stuck at? If that's where all the assembly line is, that's where the money is. Like, where are we going and what is coming through? Like, where are we? Where are we stuck? Like, where's the filtration system backed up? But I'm like, we already got architecture and design on lock as it shows in anything. Like they come to Cleveland to film because of the filming. So of course I told everybody like, go get that shit. Hell yeah, go get that shit. And them niggas is giving out the money. Like, yeah, go and get all that shit and pay us back. Reparations. Like, nigga, you want to play? Don't worry, we gonna play in my playground. Like, we gonna play. We can play in my playground. I'm just like, I got the right people. We are ready to go to war. Like, are we ready to go to war? If somebody step to you, like, what you gonna do? You gonna fight them or you gonna, like, hey, if y'all gotta wait and get ready, like, y'all get ready. When the shit pop up. And if you got this already, just make sure the weaponry of choice is fucking pointing at the right time people this time, little bitch. Alright. Who y'all niggas protecting? Are y'all are y'all contributing to war and at what age did you become accountable? Because they tried to really force some shit on me when I was 12. And you cannot put your speed in me. You will not. You can use your finger. You can rub up against me. You're not about to enter me. guess I'm teaching y'all earlier. There's plenty of ways to make a woman feel good without fucking doing anything else. Like, it's so good. You just gotta touch it like from the beginning. I'm like, no, nigga. And I'm very aware it's not all y'all. It's too many few. Mm-mm. It's a type. So I wish they didn't exist. I'm like, but I want them not to exist at all, and I want like a type from that to not exist. Like all that can go out with the trash. I'm like, I've been taking the trash out down here. Y'all been catching it though? Like y'all been burning it? Or what? It feel like they asses keep sprouting arms. Like I'm like, who my damn mystical kids? Like, who am I talking to? Who over here that got me in a chokehold? Like who understand? Like even if somebody called and was like, hey, we got some shit going on with one of ours, and like we have no idea what the fuck is going on because she thinks everybody knows something. She thinks somebody tried to hurt her. Like she really is going off in a way that she ain't never did. And we like, all right, it should be okay because she has been through a lot of shit. Like if somebody working on her case and she just like feeling it, she trying to walk somebody through. Like she like feel like somebody died. Like somebody tried to get something from me, and maybe it was me coming up myself. Like and I shook it out, and I'm like, y'all giving me stories. And I'm like, okay, it could happen, but I don't know. Yeah, it feel like somebody else do. Like, did somebody try to do this on purpose? Somebody hit my head on purpose. But I'm not talking about out there, like, so you did it out there and in here, and like in here and out there. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why is it so important that I get taken out or like so dramatically or so suddenly? Like, who is targeting me for some reason? And also, like, if that's what it is, probably should nobody be around me. And I thought about it, and also, like, who really scared? Like, I don't know, death is gonna come. If death is gonna come, death is gonna come. And for whatever it is, I'm just gonna let the underworld know right now that I am not accepting being tied to their name or anything. Like, I'm preparing my shit. I'm preparing my last will and testament because I was over there and I'm like, hey, at any point in time, my ass could be out of here. Like, and like, is anybody really gonna ship my body? Like, no, they don't have to. Wherever it's at, she can rest. Like, she'll be all right in the land. And like, I left some life insurance and a whole list of like everybody that was supposed to profit. And I'm like, oh yeah, I never went in and changed Racine's and Marcus's amount. And I'm like, well, it don't really matter. I guess like whatever it is, like him and Max have figured out, and like they'll figure it out. Like whatever. I left the basics. I'm like, it's a couple of people maybe that have been lost or whatever. I'm like, and also like don't have no fucking funeral, no memorial service, cause this shit is whack. Like this shit is whack. This shit is so whack. Like ain't nobody celebrating me. Ain't nobody helping me. Like, and I'm like, y'all don't have to. Y'all don't have to, and y'all not doing it. Like, would it really be that difficult for like everybody to pitch in with like $20 or $30? I'm like, but then according to who they are, like nobody told you to go without no money, and like I wouldn't go without no money, and like they like, yeah, that's why your ass here talking about you want to be there, like. You just like just based on your response, you like, yeah, I agree. Whatever else, like, um, I agree that I wish I had more money, and I agree that like I'm still here. Like I think that was a good response. Thank you for that. Like, and why is that even a big deal? And she like, because you're doing it, and I'm like, well, yeah, you could do it too. And she like, yeah, I know. That's what I told her. Like, you can go home. You got this or this, and you saying that you scared. Well, like, what you scared for? If they don't let your ass come back, you got your baby. You got like, go to all your people. And give a fuck. Like, I'm at home. Like, what's so hard with being home? And understanding that like no matter what you talk, like you like luxuries of being here and traveling here, and like she want to go there, and you like, well, let's switch. And you like, I don't need nobody to tell me I can switch. Like they been telling me it's mine that I'm going that way. Mm-hmm. From the beginning, I'm like, I gotta go in at the top, and when I go in at the top, I done already touch what they consider the bottom. Like, yeah, I was over here, so I know what it needs to be done, and like I'm gonna get all my girls across the board involved in their own towns and townships, because they the ones that gotta be there. So I'm like, how gentle do you want it? Like, this is your home, you fit it. How far up do you want to go, or what are some changes that you might want to make? And it can just be like they working for you, like you the princess, because you are. What do you want the rules to be? Like, are you okay with what everything is now? Like, would you are you like, okay, I want this to be for my girls? Do you like this rule? Do you think like this is sufficient? Like, okay, like we gonna pay for you to do this, and the time you gotta serve us. Like, do we want it to have to be like that, where they have to, or do they just get to go and then like we hope that they come back and like serve us? Like, but it don't matter because either way they in touch. Like that's our sister and that's our sister, so they can come back however they want, and they would want to. Like I miss home. I could just like go over. Like why is it always so difficult for us to get back home? Why they asses get? I'm like the whole UK. I'm like all of Europe. I'm like who was all connected? I'm like the Netherlands. I'm like so they can get to like. I'm like the Netherlands, Switzerland, London, the UK, Amsterdam. I'm like, you can catch all this shit like for a couple dollars, or the same thing from like over here, just a little quicker probably, and like different. I'm like, yeah, this is a beat. Like this is cool. This is cool. Like they got their whole transportation hub together, and it feel like it's so hard. Like everything got to go through them. And I'm like, but they not dispersing it. And then I'm like, well, what do it look like? Well, like, where's the infrastructure? Where is everything going? Like, how much is it really costing to run? And like, who getting hit? And like, who is being and who's having imbalance? And I'm like, well, everybody got their spaces they want to go. We can clean up across the board. Cause like, I'm ahead there, and some of y'all might like there. But I'm like, well, they even had the lights on for all this time. Too much. They need to pass the buck, pass the money, we get to show what it's like. Like we get to do it our way. And I'm like, and we ain't asking. Like we don't gotta ask to do it our way. Stay your ass over there on the fence. Like on the other side. Like you don't get to touch my no. No. I'm like that nigga. I'm like, how do I quantify some of this stuff? Like, you know what? I think I need some I need some more help. I'm like, I gotta get out. I was so excited about hitting like both grounds with like two of my black girls. I'm like, yeah. And Chrissy ass over there too. And I'm like, hey, I gotta read. And then she said your ass was like tied up in bondage or something, or you was in turmoil about your decision and everything. And I'm like, I don't know why. And I'm like, well, I guess I could figure like all the decisions or whatever is coming together. Like you angry. Did somebody trick you? And I'm like, I don't know what that could mean. I don't know what could mean. And then I'm like, oh, because you said Muhammad told your ass that he couldn't have no kids. he told you that he could not have no kids, and like you said, you trusted him with your body, and he deceived you and lied, and you felt like he raped you, he forced you to give birth to his son, because whatever beliefs he had, like that's why you was there, like that's why you was attracted to him, like yeah, you trying to figure it out, and you got your own thing going on, like whatever, and he decided like he wanted some of his own or whatever. Like I forgot, she was so heartbroken. She felt so disrespectful, so disrespected, and this was like entrapped. Like she felt so disrespected and trapped because whatever other people could do, like for her, that it was doing what she wanted. And you said like your doctor told you you couldn't have no kids, like so you had professional um opinion and advice, and like somebody told you that, and when she told me, I was just kind of listening. I was like, yeah, I can see a man doing that. And she was like, she never had thought about it. And I'm like, yeah, if they want to keep you there, if they want to be able to control you, like exactly probably what he did. Like he decided that like he wanted a baby, you was good enough. If he told you that he wasn't, if he told you that like he couldn't have kids, then like you would let your guard down and allow him to have unprotected sex with you because you would trust that you were taken care of, and he would then misuse his continue to misabuse his power and go on you unprotected every time. And then it took no time for you to get pregnant. And like how you have to like bury all of what you truly felt so like your kid would be okay with their father. You like, let me get this shit out the way so I can really truly feel, and like I got my girl under this. Like this is where she come from, and I gotta love her, and I do. And also like she got to bite her tongue every time. Like you did this to me, like it's me. Like you said that to me, like you can't figure it out over there or somewhere else. Like it got to be right here, and like okay, maybe this is supposed to be better, and like I don't fucking know. Like I just want to be with my son and my man and his father, like just like it was. Everything that happened, like and every step of the way, I'm like, Christy, I don't have your life, so I can't tell you nothing. I can tell you I'm here. I can give you advice. I can tell you when I think you can probably see something a different way, but I don't know. Most of the time, I'm just like, hey, this is what it is. Okay, how can I make you feel safe? Like, what's being taken from you, and how can I give you something back? She like, I felt like a princess once. Like I had a royal family once, and then everything just got taken in shreds, and I ain't know what I did. Like, damn, I did something that bad, and I'm looking at you, and I'm like, no, fuck that. Like, fuck that. What is this? What is this that we under, that we in? I don't want it. Like, I don't want it to touch me over this way either. Like, I touched a couple of things, and all of it looks uninspiring and damaging. So, no, thank you. You deal with it. They don't ever get to deal with nothing. And when they think they want it, the moment that they think that they want something, they can't handle it. Yeah, you have them. Now I'm an ungrateful bitch and this and that and uh-huh. I ain't say it had to be forever. Forever ever. You don't get to sneak your way into heaven, like into having a great family and a like no. Mm-mm. She decided she was gonna go make everybody else pay for their shit because she said her daddy was totally disgusting and disrespectful. She was like, he is choosing to damn lose his leg and have his body like give up on him and eat itself up from the inside because he refuses to change his diet. Like, they said you have diabetes and they said that your ass is like dying because you can't put down the fucking pork or you can't put down the whatever. And like, even whatever religion you claiming to be is telling you like not to eat the swine or not to eat this, and that's the stuff that y'all go and like overdose on. So it let me know that like it can't be the real word. It can't be honest because you can't stick to it. Like, if it tell you not to eat the animal on the basic thing, like what you can put into your body, you like, no, I'm gonna eat it. And I'm like, well, just go talk to somebody else. Like, go follow somebody else's rule and book and like put their name and all that reputation, because y'all done fucking tore that reputation apart. I'm like, hey, so y'all claim this God stuff and like y'all just like, hey, I'ma change my mind. I'm like, yeah, that can't be none of ours. Like, y'all like, Jesus got it. I said that I was gonna do this, and then like, you know what? I changed my mind. But Jesus said it was cool. Whatever I did, I'm gonna put it off on him. He got it. And I'm like, I guess like if we taking that shit and putting it back, like, hey, y'all don't get to have nothing special. Trying to take our shit, like, I'm like, whatever kind of war y'all got going on in Christianity, I just don't want no part of it. That's all. Like, I like to be a little bit more exclusive and open anyway. Like, y'all just want to be out here, like, giving grace to everybody. I'm like, access passes to everybody. I'm like, so if they just say the name Jesus, they get to come to like, be in my club forever? Like, who at the fucking gate? Who is fucking at the gate? Like, no, I don't want them over there. Like, y'all going to their damn bed. So I'm like, so they fucking inviting in all the plantation owners and like all the serial killers and all the, because they said, oh, wherever that shit is attached to, I ain't going over there. What type of existence y'all think I want to live? No, I'm gonna go the other way. I need to be way away from that. Like, anything that touched me in my lifetime, it gotta go. And it seemed like a lot of the people that was touched by their angels was feeling the same way. They like, okay, like, you know what? Y'all don't understand anything. You don't understand life. So, and they turning around and looking at like, and we was giving credit to God. We was giving credit to God. We was giving money to God. We was giving like God our firstborn kids. Like, we was giving God all the sacrifices and all the acknowledgement. And I had turned around and I was like, well, where he at? Yeah, like, what he doing with it? What y'all think it's the even trade? No, because if that's supposed to be the bank, like, where are they investing at? Oh, back in his people, back in their pot. I'm like, we give the most money through the churches, right? And like somehow all the benefits go over there. Y'all gotta change that shit around. Yeah, stop stalking that guy. He told y'all he ain't want y'all. Like, I don't really gotta have y'all here, but if y'all here, thanks. And y'all like, yeah. Let us come inside. Like, and we want to talk to you this day and this day. And I'm like, well, what is y'all telling him? Like, all y'all sins and secrets, y'all telling them what his kids doing to y'all, and he over there smiling like, yeah, they doing exactly what I told them to, like lying and cheating and stealing and murdering and raping. Like, I put it in the pamphlet for them, and they said, yeah, and we gonna pay you to keep it silent. And I'm like, so over here, your therapist and your lawyer and like all that, they got to keep your secrets. Your Catholic priest, like, All of it. Y'all go to confessional and like y'all leave their asses money. And I'm like, that's what's been happening to me. And I feel like I've been making my shit like bars of gold while they been making what? Straw? I'm like, my horses can't eat that shit. Uh-uh. Them niggas been creating toxins. They've been creating toxins. Huh? No, we can't talk to them. They can't come over and play with us. Y'all can say bye. And it can either be for like a little bit or forever. But like, let us gather in real close, figure out our own fucking strengths and heal our own shit and like have our own communications and figure back our own languages and tap into each other's energy and figure out like what we want our own relationships to look like and like figure out how to tap back into our intuition and let it guide it to our own people and our own lands. Like, let us fucking spread our fucking wings, like fucking spread out. Like that's what I've been like over here. Like, yeah, it's time for us to spread the fuck out and go find your tribe. And then if you over here and you got something, like no matter what, you can come together. When you get over there, y'all figure out how y'all can continue to pour into the land. If that's like we got this part of land and we just like, okay, like now we can start putting seeds together and we can like start our gardens and whatever. Like we all been hit by some shit and some shit that ain't right. Like, so what? I don't care. We can tap out. We at the perfect time when we can tap out. We've been talking to each other across the board. The first thing me and Tiffany was talking about was I ain't on none of that shit, but her ass like TikTok. I'm like, yo, see now, old ass. Like, this is how you keep your this your brain exercise. Like, she be coming to me, popping down all kind of experiences, like from TikTok, from the news. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And she like, you don't ever elaborate. I'm like, I did elaborate. Like, it makes sense that the whole thing would be to shut TikTok down because we all communicate and like the kids don't have no third party. They don't have like they can get the information to each other and like whatever they trying to bridge the gap at from the white kids to the black kids, like whatever they doing, I don't understand it because like no, I got beef. But like some of them, they really love each other and they like, okay, like we can be good over here. Like we can kick all of that out the way. Like, yeah, that shit look like them. And they kicking it across the board. Like, don't trust that shit. And like, she do that. And like, it's a bunch of them might have came out and started pointing out they victims. Like, and then they shit, when enough of us be like, hey, this shit is the problem, they be putting their asses out there. Like, they be finding them. I'm like, yeah, so y'all finding y'all people. Like, y'all communicating. I'm gonna let y'all do that, and I'm gonna get back here because I know that I want to go annihilate everybody. So when it's time, like y'all's truest friends, they can come. But I'm gonna say it's a no for me across the line. I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna be safe and say no, and then you gonna be like, all right, mom, but like, what about this one? And I'm like, did them niggas touch my body with like my energy by bringing in somebody white so they can expand some stuff for me? And somehow me connecting with they damn babies expanded my damn psychic like abilities and brought everything out. I'm like, how it feel like Noel and Wazi going through his training, his African training. I'm like, Niche found him an African school. I'm like, her ass was like, okay, we doing this. Like, I'm gonna put your ass to the test. Like, we doing it. I'm like, she gone, all the shit she been through with her family and brother, she just gone, it's gonna box him. You said we could do this, right? And he just like, all right, yeah, like, whatever. And my ass got front row tickets. And I'm like, well, Niche, you said that, like, y'all wanted to last forever, right? And y'all was doing so good. So, like, maybe you might want to start seeing him as this when you mad instead of that. And she like, yeah, maybe. Maybe not. Because I told you that you shouldn't even be talking to me all the way back there. You was like, yeah, all right, well, I'm talking to you, so what you gonna do? And I'm like, all right, so I ain't gonna fuck with her because she already let me know. And like, yeah, I know how most women pop it and would pop it. And yeah, like, yeah, it could be that too. And I don't even care because it's him. Like, I ain't about to put it on us. Fuck that. Like, y'all got introduced to some shit and you like, hey, let's see how we gonna pop it. And this is how we popping it. So I'm cool with it. Let's see what you gonna do. Let's see what it's gonna be about. With you and not me. Like, not him. I ain't trying to spy on his ass. Like, I know what he lost out on. He gonna know it too. If he don't, like, yep. And I ain't going nowhere. No, she is mine. She coming with me. You gonna watch us from on the other side. Like, wherever. You can come whenever, whatever that shit is. Like, but I'm gonna be good over here first. Like, heck no. Like, we can catch up back over there when we. Boy, please, you lost it. You lost a good one. Like, I was like, I ain't about to talk to him. I'm not talking about him. I'm not talking to him. Like, I'm not talking to Anthony ass. I don't care how much he was tapping on my shoulder. Like, why you tapping on my shoulder, sir? No, I came to you way too long, too many times. Like, you destroyed the hell out of my heart and gonna say, listen up. Like, no, it wasn't like that. Like, how you gonna be so in love? I heard all that shit and I'm like, oh, his gas got up there and started tapping into different people, right? Like, yeah, so you was over there doing your shit. Well, no, exit strategy on all of them. I'm like, how all my psychic abilities like strengthen and get bigger? Like, how my telepathy pop in and like all my exes start touching in. I'm like, I ain't talked to none of they asses in forever. Like, I dropped everybody off at where they went. Like, I returned them back to wherever they was coming from. Like, and I ain't even turned around. I'm like, okay, I'm over here. Like, me and you shooting the shit, and then you bring me in somebody else, and I'm like, all right, she could be here. That's yours. Like, and we popping this every day, and yeah, and then like. I'm like, his scent is changing. And I don't like it. Like, it's repulsive to me a little bit. And then I'm like, what is it? I'm like, well, I know his mom making some soap. And I don't know if that's it. I'm like, no, I don't want to smell like that. And I don't like the smell on him. And then I'm like, and he got me in all these damn situations. Like, my ass like to have sex with him too. Like, I like to have sex. And I like to have sex with him. And we trying to figure it out. Like, it's safe enough. And his ass, like, introduced another woman, another girl. Like, so I'm like, okay, you having sex with her or whatever. Like, whatever. Like, I think I'm, like, feeling some kind of way that you made it official. And then, like, enough to tell me like this your girlfriend, but we still popping off how we popping off. So I'm like, so I'm not your girlfriend. Like, I can't be your girlfriend, but I can be this over here. But what's this over here? Like, you just made me feel like it got to be a difference. Like, it got to be some type of like balance. Like, it got to be like she get to have this and like I can have this. And I'm like, well, I was cool having this even if I was trying to figure out like what it should be. And then you just like, oh, well, this is my girlfriend and this and that, and like you flaunting this shit around. I'm like, well, all right, I don't even wait. What? Like, I knew like. So now I gotta figure out now, like, if my ass feel like I'm being like mishandled, like without knowing, like, I'm like okay, so what does that stop? Like, when I say that I want to see you still, whenever I want to see you, can I still see you? Yeah, our thing is we normally cut school because your smart ass get out of school early. I'm like, all right, so I can go over here and like we can have all kind of sex. Like, yep, we got a house. Like, his mama at work and she got a boy and whatever. Like, we just gonna have sex all the time, like as much. And like he always got the condoms. We good. Boom. And then it just so happened that like he put me in a situation, or we got in a situation where like it was a lot of partying going on. His mom had her dude upstairs, and like it was the boys and everybody down there, and it was me and her, and like everybody was chilling. And then it was another, like, it was New Year's Eve, and like everybody was coming together. And his ass, we went upstairs to get some ice, and I'm like mad at him. His ass cut me off and started kissing me, and like I'm like, no, don't touch me. You got her here. Like, why she here? And I'm like, she probably feel that way about me. Like, hey, what you got me into? I don't know if I like having another woman like here. Like, yeah, I'm aware of it, but like, I don't know if you trying to. I don't really know how I feel like this now. And then his ass done like started kissing on me, and I done lost my trail of thought, and we done fucked upstairs, and I'm like, did you? I gotta figure out how I feel. Like, first of all, was anybody lit? So you gonna fuck me up here, and then you gonna go back down? Like, we gonna go back downstairs, and it's supposed to be. I'm gonna sit up here for a minute, cause either they heard us or they didn't. Like, but that shit was hot. Like, it felt good. I feel like shit. I got off a nut. Like, okay, Happy New Year to me, and just like, am I supposed to be feeling bad for her or myself? And that shit was so confusing. And it was fun. It was a little exhilarating. Like, that was all I was having to figure out at that time, was if I was gonna stay with him while he was fucking with her and bringing that in. I'm like, at some point in time, I'm like, do I feel like you like trying to like make me not feel like I'm as important as somebody else? Like, I think I do. I think I do, and I don't think I like it. I think that like I feel like you doing way more stuff with her like that I would enjoy doing. Like, y'all, I feel like y'all going out or something. Like, I feel like you spending like you being a little bit more indulgent in certain ways, and then over here I get this, and yeah, I like it. Like, yeah, I like it. That's what my ass was over here, and I'm like, and I thought we would like to expand out and try other stuff, and you like, oh, you can try it over there, and I'm like, yeah, but I ain't. You supposed to like take me along, and then if you gonna try that out over there, well then that don't worry about it. I'm gonna find somebody to fill in this. Like, you can be spending all that time over there, and I'm gonna eventually align with somebody that's gonna like fill in all this time, and then whatever it is, if I just knock your ass over there, then you knock I just knock your ass over there. And like at that point in time, I was in high school, so like it was other people filling the box. Like, the other guys start filling in the time in the space. Once I open myself up, like, I'm like, damn, that hurt my feelings. And then I dropped his ass. Like, when I got over it, I dropped it. I dropped him quick. Like, no, we played this and I figured it out, and I had all these special moments, and then I was like, hey, I don't like it. I don't like it. I said I don't like it, and like, you ain't really do nothing to change it, and like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, it's okay. And so like somebody that I had loved forever, like yeah, we split part ways, and it wasn't no big deal. I still would like check on him and his granddad, and like me and his brother was cool. Like, I still had access to him and his family, and I just was like, no. And then like we kind of just stopped talking. Like, we just stopped talking, because don't nobody get like I'm like I've been, I don't know, like, either you gonna come in and like hold me close, or you just gonna come in and like tap on me a little bit or something. Like, I don't know, just come in and like be in my sunshine, like take part of my sun. And I'm like, I'm pulling my son back, because apparently way too many people were like fucking content with like being on the outskirts of my life, just like basking in my sun. Like, I gotta put in all the work and go this way, like, and they get to like pour all they shit over there, and then like they get to bask in all my damn light and all my love and all my magnificence and all the light that I pour out. And I'm like, okay, like, no, not no more. Like, let me figure out how to get y'all asses off. Like, get your asses off and out of my light and out of my world. Like, why I gotta be asking for stuff that should be coming easy? And in my head, everybody like, oh, we've been trying to talk to you, and we've been wanting you to know that you so important, and like, back the fuck up. Like, get out. Get out. I'm like, my ex in here. Why? I'm like, everybody telling me that I'm like I'm over exaggerating, or like I don't give nobody a chance to like process something that I'm telling them, simply because like who they were when they met me. And I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to be responsible for anybody else's fucking feelings, anybody else's thoughts, anybody else's anything for any point of time, because I always am. So whatever y'all saying in my head, whatever y'all trying to get across, like, whoever taking advantage of my gifts again to talk to their ancestors and to talk to like anything. Like, y'all rude and disrespectful all the time. Like, nobody ever takes into consideration what's going to fucking happen to me, and I always have to hold it together myself. So somebody can do it, prove a point. Like, I'm like, what is this about? Like, what was the message? What was the purpose? And I'm like, okay, you supposed to be upbeat, like something great was coming. And I'm like, but did I really have to take any of this path for me to have like the something great? And whatever technically is the something great was something that was like already mine. Like, I went through the goddamn heat, through the dungeons, like fucking Mario Brothers, like up here, like and I ain't even like the mushrooms, but the mushrooms didn't even bother me. Like, I'm already in my own damn supernatural world, and I'm like, so like, even when I got up here and I got the white flag, the royal flag, like, I'm like, oh, it's the royal gold flag. Like, I'm right here. I'm still mad because I'm like, I'm only right here. Like, yeah, we get to march right in, like, and clear it up. But, like, this is it. Like, we starting right here after all this time, and we could have already been up here. So, it's one of the things where, like, I gotta reconcile. And that's even if anybody even can align up on time to continue to fucking help me even be able to pour into anything. Like, can I bring any of my shit into fruition? Because clearly it's a fucking winner. Like, it's a good idea. I'm watching my businesses pop up and I'm like, did I at least get stock in it? Like, how them niggas get it? Oh, probably through emails and stuff. Like, it's theirs. If they ask known for stealing, that's what they gonna do. If that's the energy, and we on their servers, so they got access, and like, never realizing how brilliant you are until you see your shit up there. And I'm like, or did like some of the people that I already know get together and somehow give them my blueprint, and they was like, okay, like, we got the money and we got the resources, like, we'll do it, and whatever you was gonna do, you could just come over here and do it. I'm like, so essentially again, I'm working for somebody else. Anything that I have going in here, I'm not working for nobody else. Like, no, they can work for me. They can work for me for once. Like, they so happy working against me. Yeah, if you want to like be anything and have any freedom for you and yours, like, coming up, like, you can turn that same energy into me. Like, y'all can work all day over there with a smile on your face. Well, and then complain, and then I gotta use all the complaint energy. I gotta use all that shit. Like, now y'all don't have enough time to like spend time with me, to go out to dinner, to like listen to me for once. And I'm like, so to me it's like, okay, like, I don't get to be cuddled. Okay, I don't get to be whatever anybody is going through. Like, I'm in here by myself, even no matter what. All right. I'm gonna look at it as like, I'm gonna just look at everything that's happening so I can get us some solutions. I'm gonna just look this way so like I can get solutions to it. And when I get the solution, I'm like, why it ain't so easy to like pop that shit into place? Like, why I still gotta walk all the way back down the line and like, and I'm like, I guess I would have to, like, I guess this is where we at, instead of being able to like get high together in this land and like put all the other pieces in place that we would be able to. Like, I gotta come all the way back down here and like have all this other shit happen to me, and not like, I'm supposed to cut the fucking cord. Like, I'm supposed to cut this shit off. And I'm like, am I supposed to like cut free? I can do that. I'm supposed to already been moving. I knew that. I had it in the vision. Like, I ain't supposed to be here. I am not supposed to be here. And am I not being here as according to anything? I'm supposed to like make sure that I sprout life abundantly before I leave. And I'm like, I checked off all my boxes. Like, now for the rest of my journey, can I go do that shit somewhere else? Like, I done traveled everything, the prostitute, the whore, the woman with 9 babies, like the rape victim, the dad. I'm like, I done walk that shit out as each woman. Like, technically, like, I'm her. And I said, my request now that I have beat all of the monsters is like, give me all of my inheritance. Give me all of my piece of the pie that you have kept from me. That's it. And like, my reward is going to be that all my girls get the fucking cash in. Because when we cash in, our partners and our children cash in too. So I'm just waiting for all that to come like this way. Like, whatever is cleaning out is cleaning out. Because we have everything that I said that I wasn't doing, everything that we said that we wasn't doing. Like, everybody else that came across has been like, yeah, nope. One thing I'm like, hey, y'all, like, the girls is turning up. Like, we are coming back into our fucking power just by touching on each other. Like, I'm like, I got my girls and there's some them. Like, when we go out, we don't fucking talk about each other or talk about people. Like, our level of conversation is different. And then I'll be like, even in that, like, we could be talking business and stuff, but we hold our shit sacred. Like, we don't got to put no pressure on each other. Like, we'll figure it out. It'll come together. We fucking tired. Like, we in all these systems. We trying to get it together. We trying to figure it out. Do we really have them? It don't feel like it. And like, we see some got a bud and promise. Like, some got promise. And so we do this shit for us. Like, they don't get to say that. They don't get to take the honor that we doing something for them. For what? What the hell the man done did for us to be doing something for him? Like, as a collective. Like, nah, baby, this shit is for me. This shit is for me. And it's for her. And it's for her. Because I'm like, yeah, I see where you at over there, but it's too far in between. Like, it's just a couple of y'all. Where is it at in the hole? Because you can't tell me that this is the standard. And I'm looking around and I'm like, no, it ain't. And that standard is causing a whole lot of issues to my baby. So, like, y'all can focus on that, and I'm going to focus on here. And then I'm going to tell y'all, like, all the other stuff, too. Like, my girls get to run the line across the board. Like, we don't got, I'm like, they still talking about we hood rats or we gold diggers or like, oh, so fucking what? Hell yeah. But the only gold we gonna dig for is inside of us, and then y'all just gonna start sprouting out. Like, I don't gotta go chasing after no man or being like so immersed in what he say is supposed to, I'm supposed to be. Like, how you gonna tell me what I'm supposed to be, sir? You can like get in line and bless me with your tongue. Hell yeah, you can worship my motherfucking temple with your motherfucking mouth. Like, that's it. You don't get to try to like break me down or control me or like restrict me or like hurt me or put me down or not hold me sacred or not be considerate of me and not talk to me and not be like, no, absolutely not. Like, to dig into my wounds. I'm like, I know I got abandonment wound issues. Like, I know that like, do you not know everything I've been through? And I'm talking to you and I'm trying to tell you what it is to treat me so damn safely, and you just like, no, I'm gonna do something else. Okay, like, so when I decide that I'm not trying to give you no more instructions on how to fucking handle me with care or like care for me, and I walk away, however you choose to relay that to somebody else, I know it can be looked at in multiple ways. Like, yeah, when I'm told that I'm looked at like the broke one, I'm like, okay, like, and like, I don't keep my hair done enough, or like, I don't, all the stuff that was hitting me, I'm like, yeah, yeah, like, we had some of those conversations that we had back there exactly for this. Like, I don't want nobody looking at me like I'm not enough or that I'm not beautiful for them just because like they don't know what they like. Like, I asked you, I was like, well, this is who I am. Like, I wear my hair natural for the most part. Like, I figured out I like my afro, whatever it is. So it's probably gonna be an afro, it's gonna be a twist. and then I can do other stuff, and like I'm gonna figure it out, but I'm gonna do it for me. So if you have something that you like to see on me, you can tell me that, but you don't get to really tell me that like I'm not beautiful anyway, right? And I'm asking you also like what kind of looks do you like? Like we can play around in it, and he like, oh, the same thing you talking about, I like too, and I'm like, okay, so the natural look, all right, and then he like, I like the natural look, but then to come to find out like you upset because like your woman didn't like, cause I wasn't like you was finding another woman because like I wasn't like straightening my hair enough, like I wasn't like giving you enough or something. I'm like, okay, that's fine. He can go over there for that. Like he can go get whatever he need from wherever he wanted to have it and wherever he needed. Like rock that shit out the ball, rock it out the park, rock it out the park, go crazy. But like you don't get to leave me unprotected. You don't get to be like it's my fault. Like I'm doing something wrong. Like yeah, I had a woman that was like cool and everything, but like her look wasn't right. Like I wasn't like she wasn't able to keep it spicy. Like she ain't straighten her hair. Like I would have preferred if she had like a perm or whatever it is that niggas be doing. And I'm just like, yeah, don't do that shit. Like don't do that shit around me. It's about another woman. Like I don't take it for me and I don't take it for her either. When a man comes to me, if he got another situation, first I'm gonna ask about it, and like my first thing is that like you better be able to look at yourself and know that you made a good choice. Like she a good choice for you. You don't get to come to me and be like, oh, I don't like her, and like I hate my life, and like you're like the like nigga what? And I don't want you. Like I don't want that. That's you not protective of like you're not honoring yourself as a man to me. Like y'all connected. That's where you at. That's whatever it is. So even if you want to build up over here, it ain't gonna be by like bringing strife against that. Like now you ain't about to have me questioning like what type of woman I am. I ain't questioning about no other woman when no man come to me. Like not in no negative way. You ain't putting that energy. Hell no. The only thing I'm gonna have to decide is like, how united we gonna get? Cause you don't get to keep me in no like box either. Like as far as like me feeling like I can't beat me. If your ass, however private you wanted to get, it could be private. Like put me on an island. Yeah, and be ready to just fucking buy islands across the board. We can be quiet. Like I don't get to feel restricted, and I don't get to feel that like uh anything of mine would be considered less. Like in this environment, in this culture, like y'all like really invested into like I guess classism. Like no matter how much or socialism or no materialism, but no matter how much somebody like doesn't have, somebody like got a little bit like y'all be like fighting each other over Jordans, like the shoes. Well, go get them, and like if you can't afford them, to get something else and rock that shit out, and like it's just as dope. Like y'all ain't got to be going to war and blood over Jordans. Like what type of shit do y'all be doing? Like I was thinking about that shit as a kid. Like when I would be hearing the news, like what the hell are y'all like finding value in? Like I don't understand. I'm like, is it literal? Like y'all really killing people for Jordans, or is that like some of the slang? Cause depending on where you from, like the slang is different. So you like, I'm killing them with the Jordans. Like I'm killing them for Jordan. Like we gonna go and we gonna work, and like he got something coming in, he getting money. Like we gonna put in that we gonna invest in him. Like he our investment this way. Like this how we can see it. And like if they was expecting something from him, like he gon' and it felt like a lot of people was expecting something from him. Like okay, so now whatever he get, he don't got to keep all of it. Like he can get some of it back to the community. He can like if you tithe 10% or whatever you whatever it is, like, yeah, we gonna like go ahead and buy this land, even if you like, all right, I got this much from Nike and this much came from that demographics is working working in YouTube. I used to always look at the analytics and see like our demographics and stuff. I'm like, okay, they watching me over here or they watching him over here, here, like, but that already link up with whatever they saying else in the meeting. Like, okay, and like I can already see it. I see it on here when they in class and like in the chat and like all that. So I'm looking up the analytics and I'm like in the demographics and I'm like it's the same over here. Like the demographics gotta line up, like, and it can line up the analytics to get us out of here. And then I'll just be like, they ain't ready for those conversations, man. Like, we so close and so far apart only because y'all want to put focus on the wrong thing. So I'm like, so like when it come to Jordan, I'm like he decided to like invest in the prisons. So when I was following, I'm like, all right, he invested in the prisons, and that's cool if that's where you're going because they making money. And if y'all gonna like continue to say that like we gonna go into the prison, like we gonna go into the systems that's sending y'all asses to prison, well of course he would invest. I'm like, and there's some people that's like, well why would you invest over there when you could just invest over there? Like even if you like, I don't trust them to like go do it. Well why wouldn't you fucking buy the land? Like off of this demographic my people spent this much and this much came to me. Like it ain't hard to figure out the line where your money coming from. And so as a thank you, I'm gonna go buy all these plots of land in the neighborhood and we gonna start the food gardens and I'm gonna tell y'all to like maintain it and keep it up. Like boom, y'all can just do that. And like either A, that's one less thing that you have to worry about. So like whatever your food budget is, you can cut that out your schedule for work, like either immediately or you can be like, okay, I'm gonna keep going to using it, and then like I'm gonna invest this over somewhere else. Like I'm like, we don't never pull out the system. We just keep giving it back in. So like when you up here and you like, I know that like my people was pushing me up and I'm like, it's very little of y'all that understand it. And I think sometimes it's only gonna come through a woman. Like, and I'm like, they have it because like they wealthy men, they have their wives or their fucking business. Like they get paid. It's called philanthropy for a reason. Like they got all the shit. And I'm like, when my girls get over there, like they don't know how to cycle this shit down to like they don't know how to be boss. They don't know how to move the room. They don't know how to move the crowd. Like all that shit that they be talking, like a fuck about having a man or not having a man. Like yeah, you could do it on your own. I don't want to. I knew that. I'm like, I'm gonna want a man to move around when I get up there and multiple. Like leave it open. And my daily manifestation guy, like, hey, this is what I want and leave it open. Like, what do you need? And she like, I'm telling you what I need. Like, I need a new face for my campaign. And I'm like, oh, okay. So like, I'm the empress and like, we just knocking down the doors on bringing everything together finally. Like, we had to open me up so that I could get the word out. Because I'm like, if I tell this person, I tell this person, I tell this person, they going to get the word out. And I'm like, maybe it ain't getting out like I need to. Like, I need us to come together. Like, what y'all in tune to, what y'all listen to at this point in time. Like, we need our own shit. And it don't even got to be that big of a deal, especially when I travel. I'm like, oh, so I didn't even think about like that you can just grow these and that shit tastes delicious. So we already got like greens and green beans, like getting back all to our original fruits and veggies and produce and shit. And I'm like, yam greens, like this shit is delicious. Like, what other kind of greenery I got? And I'm going to the Asian plaza and everything. I'm like, oh, we can like get our shit back together. Like, it's way more stuff out here than what they telling us. Like, dandelions are good to me. Like, I'm like, and they're good. Like, they're bitter. But as I was getting fucking hip to like more types of vegetables and cooking them, I'm like, why are we in their stores? We don't have to have these grocery stores like that. We can create our communities and they can be so damn sacred and like Oh, we ain't scared. Like, are we still scared of them? We still think we gonna let them bully us? Uh-uh. Cause we at the perfect place where we not separating ourselves from our sister. Like, we see how they do us. We are no longer allowing that to be what it is. Like, I'm like, are we at the place where everybody got enough money where we can kind of figure out how to like invest, like divest and invest, and how to set every structure up and all the foundations and everywhere and everything with the money? Because I already been working on it for so many years. I'm like, okay, so they understand this, and like I went into the stock market and I was learning to break down everything, and as I was figuring it out, I didn't have enough money to keep up with the class. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna come back, and then like my money just wasn't working out. I'm like, every time I really try to tap into finance the way that I know so that I can start investing, because easy, one of the girls had told me about like investing in like one of the apps, and I pulled it up and I'm like, oh, this easy. Like, I don't even have to go all the way into his class to hear what he's saying, and like I already know the things to invest in. I'm like, I just never have enough money. And even when I was like for Acoin, I'm like, that add right up. And if you start right here and you add that, I'm like, he already got the credentials, and whatever anybody putting on him, like he the one putting in work over there on that side. I'm like, so we already got. I'm like, so you already got somebody in the system. And I'm like, damn, I want to go over there and invest. I was hoping like by the time before he got into it, like I was buying Acoin. I'm like, I don't even know where my Acoin at, and it seemed like it had discontinued, and I couldn't figure out how to like keep up. Like Acon stuff went silent, and I was like, it don't matter. Like I would expect it to. Whatever he was trying to build on such a mass scale, I'm like, he gonna have to like make sure that he got the support. Because if he was either studying from Gaddafi and was like, okay, like we can replicate all of this, like just figure out how they gonna bring all the resources and everything together. Because I'm like, you can do all the solar stuff, like you can do like solar, wind, um, water, like you can power Africa, can power Africa simply because Africa is Africa. And the same thing with us. I'm like, how do I get back to the mentality of like letting us know that we are us? Like we came here for a reason. Like the tides brought us here for whatever reason, whatever war was supposed to come down or whatever we were supposed to battle with. Um, because somebody is under judgment. Like somebody is under judgment. I've gotten too many visions. I've seen too much stuff. And I'm like, so they trying to turn it around. And like, we did everything here in order for this to continue to like thrive. Like, we have to glean from each other. Because I'm like, how is it that when I went to South Africa the first time, like, shit was running smooth. I go back the second time a few years later, and like, we pulling so much resources just in like the fucking Western world, especially United States, that whatever they're supplying through us or being forced to supply or whatever, it's pulling on their entire power grid. Like, I'm like, hey, what y'all running off of? Because we still kind of run off coal a lot. I'm like, well, I know we used to run off coal, and then they started changing out the minerals. Like they started changing it into something else. I'm like, so what y'all running with? Like, I'm like, it's definitely connected. I'm just trying to figure out where that connection is coming from, because I see it. Like, I'm like 4 years. Like we are raping the continent. If this is like the biggest, if it's a big issue, because they got rolling blackouts. I'm like, so y'all probably trying to conserve whatever you have to try to figure out how many years, but is it how many years before like everything go completely dark, or are we just trying to turn out into new systems, trying to get like everybody outside? Like, what's the purpose of it? So I was like running it that way, and then like I'm like, and either way, we need to slow down on what we're consuming in the U.S. So if they can do rolling blackouts, why couldn't we do rolling blackouts as well, to ensure that like we can hold each other up and be accountable? Like, why would we just want to continue to suck and take to where like our sister may suffer as a continent? I'm like, How the hell is that? And then when I came back, when I got back in the country, I got back in town. I'm like, oh, the power grid is failing here. Like, we are. When I was abroad, I'm like, we are entirely too um needy, like, for everybody else. Like, we get everything imported from here, and some things are exported, and the cost of it when you go across to the other side, I'm like, damn. And I'm in other places, and I'm like, we ain't even gotta bother with that, or we can, but we can do it ourselves because we never get the full benefit. Like, it all goes through certain systems that we don't have, like, connection to. And I'm like, technically, even by anybody's law, tribal or anything, like, we are able to do our own thing, period. So when I was crossing the water, she was gifting me another part of my vision that I had already created across the world. Like, okay, you really want to help. So what do you see? And I'm like, well, I see that if we gonna be doing clothes, or if we gonna be tapping into fashion or anything, that, like, the material and everything needs to come from us because we know material, we know fabric. And I'm like, so they got that, that's what they known for, and that's over here, and that's over here. And she was like, okay, what else? And I'm like, so they can give me that kind of fabric, because right off the bat, I want to build this kind of business already to create income for my communities. Like, I'm sitting up here trying to figure out how to create income for my communities, because I'm like, my people still need to be free for a certain amount of time. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to be able to get into the ground and invest in, like, your mental state and well-being, and, like, really learn your internal clock. So in order to do that, I got to get you off the crack. What's the crack? Their fucking system. Like, I know that y'all think y'all gotta work to be valuable. I know you think that, like, you gotta do this to be valuable, and I'm like, yeah, you can. That can be it, or it don't have to be. Like, you are valuable, and all of that you doing, how about if we just get you to turn it around? Like, but I don't want you to do anything because it's just automatic necessarily. Like, no, I want you to be able to find what your happy is, because I want you to be fully, completely in a happy space so you can connect. Like, what my world needs now is, like, the abundance. The best way you can be abundant is if your ass is abundant with yourself first. Like, yeah, I like this, so I listen to people. I'm like, so you really enjoy teaching, huh? And, like, here, teaching the shit. Like, we've been through all the schools, and if you touch to the schools, I done worked in all the schools, and I'm like, yeah, it's a difference. And over here, like, the shit is, like, over here. Like, these are our statistics. So our kids ain't got to do that, and we ain't got to let them. And, like, we can't go into a school system trying to teach them. Like, I'm like, we don't get to bring they shit to our shit. Dump it. It wasn't working. It wasn't working at all. Why would I create a system that's, like, just a reflection of theirs? Nigga, I don't like their reflection. When I look in the, when I'm like, yeah, I like my reflection every time. Like, I'm a bet on black every time. Black, yeah, just black and green and red, the roulette table, all the time. It's gonna be me. So the only thing I've been thinking about is, like, who gonna be the bosses? And like, I don't have to be everywhere. We can have, like, all my people. We can be in. Like, y'all already listening to us. Y'all already got us tapped in. I'm like, let me just talk to them so they know that, like, I'm in this shit. And I'm like, oh, I think they brought me in there. I think that all of the work that I be, my little dreamy ass be putting in underneath before I even touch the herb. Nigga, I lit up for the first time in South Africa. Like, I really, really, really tapped into herb. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna make this my tradition. Like, I'm gonna light up everywhere I go now. Like, I got to, and I gotta find the water. Like, oh, that's what she telling me, to make it a celebration. And I'm like, am I gonna do a podcast? Like, I'm always thinking money, and I'm like, I think that's I had enough time to where I've been thinking so much money and business and freedom and for my people, and not having enough money to like enough of the damn support to make this shit happen, and y'all crying about all the shit that I can make happen. Like, I know y'all ain't happy. I know that y'all stressed out. I know y'all tired. Yeah, and I know y'all might not know why y'all keep going through the same shit. And I'm like, cause y'all under a different spell. Y'all just line up with me. Just line up with me. And as I help mine, y'all just fall in line, cause y'all supposed to be the fucking support. Y'all supposed to be the protectors. I'm like, how I come through the damn foster care system, come down like, who I am, who I am, who I am, like, who I am, who I am. And and ain't nobody got like they checkbooks open for they blank checks, like I don't have all the answers. I'm like, okay, Darian, I know I shared that business plan. You shared that business plan, right? Yep. You shared that one too, right? Did you share that? Yeah, I shared that when I was down there. Okay. Did we just write that down in our journal, or did we share that with somebody? I think we mentioned it, but we definitely wrote it down. Okay, like when we did the research about that, did we mention that to somebody? Maybe. I don't know at this point in time, because I think at some point in time I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna keep all my shit down here to myself. Like, ain't nobody else about to be making no more bank off of me, because somehow whenever I think some shit, like, it be happening through somewhere else, and that's cool if it come back like over here. And so far I've been having to like rely on the goodness of like my earth. And I'd be like, well, what if I didn't have to have a budget over here? Like, would it be so bad for me if I wouldn't be able to indulge in like staying at the beach a little bit longer? Like, is that such a big deal if I want to be able to like have like 3 watermelons instead of like 0? I was in South Africa. I'm like, my babies get to have some watermelon. Like, how much is it? Like, all right. And even if it got to be a treat, like, I'm going to figure out how to make sure that, like, my damn kids going to be able to have fresh fruit. Like, why everywhere I go, it's a food desert. And, like, people want to ignore that. I can't ignore it because that's my reality here. Like, I'm drawn to the places of my soul so that I can create an answer for everybody. Like, do you know how it is to go to the grocery store 2 miles up the street and they got like all the damn produce, like everybody connecting with them to get my shit, and they line and they don't never pass it up. And I'm like, this is supposed to be a Jewish community, right? Like, so you are already supposed to know what it is supposed to be oppressed and like depressed and like targeted, and you know what it is like not have to be starved and everything based off the stories you tell. But if you don't have that same compassion for the people down the motherfucking road, that means that it wasn't your story. You motherfucking lied. Because how can you not have that compassion? Like, how you gonna tell me I'm touching the fucking strongest Jewish communities and dang on all of them, like, and aware of them? I'm like, okay, so you got the Orthodox Jews, you got the I think they're the Akinsashi Jews or whatever. Like, there's so many types. Like, I'm touching on all the temples. And I'm saying, like, literally 2 miles away from you, like, the children barely get to eat at home. How you gonna tell me that you are the ones that can hold the containers of the sacred word? What sacred word? Like, no, you don't get to have it. That means it's not your story. That means you corrupted it, you lied, and you stole something from somebody, which was the original. And she gotta look like me, because no matter where I go, guess what? I find the fucking balance. I find the piece of thread. I find the bridge. Like, you know what? I got enough dollars. Even if I'm only coming over here, I got $100. Well, I gotta make sure this is right, and like, that's gonna come out. Like, I had to make sure I kept insurance and whatever. and I'm gonna go to the grocery store and I'm like, based off of the prices and the difference, shit, I'm gonna spend a couple dollars and buy a couple watermelons and let the kids know, like, do y'all like it or not? Because y'all got all this bullshit available. I'm like, even though it got like different ingredients, like, no matter where you go, you can buy a bunch of fucking bullshit that we don't need. Like, that ain't what they need for their immune systems. Like, flaming hot, nigga. Why y'all still putting them in the neighborhood if you telling them that it kill them? Like, yeah, they got a responsibility to like take that shit from their kids. And don't you think you got a responsibility to like not create the shit? You can create something just as fucking delicious. Cause when I go in, the first thing I be is like no number 5 dye, and guess what I be finding? Awesome fucking replacements that's similar to any spicy shit. I like spicy chips too. Guess what they use? Oh my gosh, real peppers. Imagine that. So I'm like, I gotta get these niggas off my blocks. Like, I gotta get them out of my stores. I gotta get them off my corners. I gotta get them out of my neighborhoods and communities. Cause even for all my people that want to stay in the city, cause I'm like, I don't want my people out in the land. Like, we too close. We touching too close and not doing nothing. I'm like, maybe y'all too scared to go out in the broad. Cause like, everything that's been happening, I ain't scared. And y'all can be able to travel however. Because what I'm putting together means that like, we gonna be able to travel safely amongst each other. Like, your neighbor may be right here and you might decide you want to take a little bit of a longer journey, and your neighbor is fucking across the water. Like, which body of water are you willing to travel? Do you want to fly it? Do you want to damn put it on a boat? And let's figure out how we can collectively have a system that like y'all just sending money into, just tithing into, like y'all were doing the one that wasn't really benefiting us. Like, what are you really losing? What you losing if you hear somebody else say, hey, I got some people and I'm watching y'all and I'm like, I'm connected to the saying like, invest in me. Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. And I'd rather use like all this shit to my advantage and tap into this. And like from the beginning, I'm saying everything that I'm telling y'all to do, he got the answer. Let's create like these systems. And we got the banking systems. Like, we already been putting it together. And even with all that, I'm like, we can do something totally different and make sure that we using their expertise and everything, like diverse portfolio. And y'all let us work. Like, y'all got to be willing to put in. Because y'all be having a lot of opinions and y'all be like very, very harsh to me sometimes about like stuff that like y'all don't know about. And I'm just like, sometimes they might be trying to get my attention. I'm like, no, not like that. I ain't really into drama. I'm into business. But it's cool because like all the type of drama that y'all want to do is already out there. I don't need to do that. Y'all need to see like us like this, like being able to pop our shit and our intelligence without having no damn restrictions. Like, let's see what we can really do when we get high together. But like, first go do as much as you can to get rid of some of the shit that might come out that like might have you wanting to do some of the shit they do. I'm like, they just go. I'm like, what the hell did he smoke? Or what was they doing? What did they watch that they wanted to go blow up a damn classroom? And I'm like, or maybe they feel like they working for us. Like, I don't know what's happening in the spiritual realm over here. Like, because y'all have corrupted that shit. And based off the logic, like, you can't come into a land and tell a people that like you doing something to they people and they ain't gonna make your people like turn that fucking trigger back around, like and take y'all out by the same type of numbers that y'all can't handle. Like, either way it go. And when I'm like, when you understand like spiritual war and like how stuff, even if you don't understand, to me, when I be hearing certain stories, that shit be like, oh yeah, they coming back for a vengeance for all that shit y'all said. And now my other warriors want to tell their stories. They like, all right, We done tapped into the fucking slave shit for too long. Make sure you get everything that's supposed to be ours. Get your last tears in or whatever. Like, use that shit and rise up in power. So that, like, we can show them, like, what we do after they done told their story on us. Like, after they done, like, confessed to all their crimes. Like, when we are in charge of the courts. Like, nigga, y'all think y'all gonna just be telling the world, like, what y'all do? Like, or what you want to do when you get the chance. Like, we gonna intercept all them messages. And then we gonna make sure we have that shit act out on evidence. Like, yeah, you said you did it, so we gonna write it. And that's what you want to do. Like, this is your greatest desire. So now you gotta pay me. Just based off your system. Like, just bankrupt the bitch. That's the type of shit I be thinking about. And I be like, y'all think about shit like that, like, on a regular, let alone when you high. Cause before I even started smoking, I was already dream walking. I was already lucid dreaming. I was already astral traveling. I was already astral projecting. I was already speaking to, like, the dead. I was already, like, tapped in. I was already building big. Like, I was already working on myself and, like, in a different state way before I started partaking in herbs. And so I'm like, what do y'all be doing with y'all gifts? Do y'all be tapping into yourselves? And then I be mad that I'm still here. Like, every day that passed, that's another kid that ain't getting no help. Like, every day that, like, I don't got the anything that I need or want in my damn reality right now. Like, I'm wasting time. Like, I'm wasting more time. Like, I'm like, damn, I'm still wasting more days. Like, my babies need me out there. They don't know that they need me. And then also I'm seeing so many, like, of my realities, like, so many of my visions coming to reality. I'm like, cause Chrissy came in here and she was like, Nick Nack Nation, I see why you did that. And I'm like, okay. And she like, I like that. And she like, why did you say Nick Nack Nation? And I'm like, well, I named my company Nick Nack Nation, like, one of them. Simply because I'm like, knickknacks are usually something that, like, some people find valuable and, like, other people don't find value in. Like, you got an eye for it. Like, you like, okay, I see they worth. And that's kind of, like, been my life. Like, yeah. I'm like, and mines are these. Like, these are the things about me that, like, people probably see that created, like, a lot of turbulence in my life. And I'm going to use it. Like, it's actually what's going to get me in, like, everything that I need. Like, everything that I needed. And I was like, and she was like, you're going to do exactly like she was like, you are going to be the one that saved the children. Like, you're going to be their safety or something like that. And I was like, she's like, your business. And I was like, okay, I can see how you see it. Like, I'm like, I can see that. Like, I can see that. That's what I'm planning. Like, it's part of the plan. How you know that? And she just laughed. I'm like, but I don't understand. I was like, cause I'm talking about the immigrants and, like, everything for us. And I walked it down, like, I saw the vision of it. And I was like, yeah. Cause I be getting so frustrated sometimes. I'm like, I have all of these, like, I see it. I see everything that I want to do. And I don't really know how to, like, get nobody else to see it. And the ones that I felt like could really see it when I spoke, that actually were, like, my parts of my puzzle pieces that would be able to, when I had a vision, like, sometimes I would be able to talk to them, like, with just a little bit, like, this is what I saw and, like, this is what I want and blah blah blah, and they could just fill in the blanks and make the rest happen. And, like, the details that I didn't care about, they always knew it. And I just got feeling like I was losing my people. And I'm like, that's why it's so hard. Like, that's why I still haven't been able to to get the houses. That's why I haven't been able to buy the land. That's why I haven't been able to be in the right rooms at the right tables to get like the right checks yet, because like everybody is not aware yet of the detriment or the importance, or like I don't know, for some reason I'm invisible or it's not time. Like maybe I need to start keep working on like something else. Like maybe I need to I'm like, okay, so I know exactly what I want. What I got all the big stuff, so maybe I'm supposed to be working on like the rules, like the foundation, like the handbook. And so I started working on that, and I was like, okay, maybe now I'm supposed to be working on like the partnerships and the school and the projects and like the education piece. And I did that, and then I was like, but everything flowed together, and I'm like, well, when do I get the land? And they was like, well, keep going. And so when I did like both of my trips abroad, the way that I did it, every step of the way, I kept saying like, oh my goodness, like I ain't know how this was gonna go. And every step of the way, I found a piece of the puzzle, like another piece of the puzzle to my dream, to my vision. Like it was just like coming up on time, and I was creating a whole ecosystem, like on the macro, on the micro, for everybody. I'm like, cause everybody have different comfort levels, and even then, like, so we gonna do schools and education, do it really have to be this? And if we right here, like what's really beneficial, and what are our ancestors saying that they want us to get back down to? And then I'm like, well, some people really like living in large groups like this, there's nothing wrong with that. And some people really like living in like larger groups, but like have it more like this, and like just basing, like just trying to go find community or create communities. And I have been doing my research. I've been seeing how they get money and stuff like on YouTube. I've been seeing like how they've been doing it in the States like forever. They be having whole ass communities, and be getting like so much funding. So of course, like I'm catching all the funding, and I'm like, well, I don't really like analytically writing like that, like technical writing and like business plans and stuff. Like that's where I struggle the most. I can do it, it's just a struggle for me. And then like grant writing, like yeah, I could probably do it. So all the stuff that I really like can go in depth in, I'm like, it's other people that can like take over for me, and other people were. But just because like I'm putting it together, I'm like losing parts of all the pieces that I worked with at different point of times. And I'm like, when we gonna come back together up here so that like we can enact it? Like everybody kids is getting bigger, and we getting older, and like I'm watching the statistics of like what they want our life expectancy to look like, and how ain't nobody really looking out for us. And I'm like, no, they don't get to have that much of us. So we got to make sure that like we got enough energy individually and collectively to get our shit together, like to pop out, to tell their asses like, nah, y'all don't really get to have us this way. Like, and us start enacting our wildest dreams. Like, when did you think that you and your family would ever be able to go to like, I don't know, Fiji or anything? That's like my biggest dream, because I'm like, everybody look at it like you got to go balling, and I always look at it like, shit, if I can take like this much, I can actually live there for like this long. And if I get in and I start investing into the system, and like we creating systems already to where we can wean off the currency that we are like starting off with to that extent, and create a surplus, then like we already are creating our own jobs, like in a environment, if that makes sense to y'all. Like, but that's just how my mind works like all the time. And I'm like, I know I'm like low-key smart and very intelligent, and I'm just like, I need somebody to just give me their money. Give me their money. Like, give me their money. And even in that, I was being very gentle. Like, that's where I want my man to come in at. Like, I ain't been able to really be be able to indulge in love and be able to truly experience it. So I said that that's where I was gonna take mine at. Like, yep, you skipped me on the grandparents part for real. You skipped me on the parents part. You skipped me on this part. Like, you skipped. Oh, there was another disappointment. Like, there was another hurt. Like, all right, I'll just take it on the other side then. Like, if this is what you gonna get me coming in, okay, I can't really fight it. I'll just continue to wait and I'll take it up here. Like, he gonna bring me the family that I wanted. He gonna bring me all of that, and it's not gonna be like a strain on anybody. It's just gonna be like my prince. Like, I'm finally meeting my perfect partners. And we creating, like, we creating our royalty, and everybody gonna be excited to pour into it because they know that we got their back. One of my spirits channeled that message through me. Like, you are one of our true Lunas. So take that. Because they be fighting. I'm like, what, who y'all fighting? And they like, don't worry about it. Go to sleep. I told their asses that I wanted to have I was like, so if we had our tribrid already, like one of our tribrids, first tribrids, like, so she has three personalities, three animals. I'm like, well, what am I then? Like, how many can I have? Because I'm tracking the down with all y'all. I said, so can I do 4? Then, like, can we always put it up? I'm like, I easily have vampire, wolf, and dragon, because y'all keep telling me, like, that's what y'all sending me. I'm like, and I got one of my water birds all the time, and I got my fairies. So can I embody all of those? Like, and then which ones would I be able to like shift into as a shifter? Because I know on certain realms, like, they still truly shift into their bodies. And I'm like, I know people don't believe that. Because, like, our frequency is so, like, people just don't believe that, like, things can happen because of only what they can see in front of them. And I'm like, what are y'all seeing in front of y'all? Because I be seeing through all of that as much as I can based on my experience. And because I actually be seeing them, like, when they send me certain stuff and I be saving they girls, they'll come tell me, like, they'll come to me in one of my dreams and they'll say, like, I think one of them had a conversation, like, we're going to gift you, like, you're going to get to decide. And it doesn't have to matter about the time. Like, you'll be okay. And I'm like, I guess, like, all right, can we just make sure that I have the money in the business then? And then they were just laughing. Like, if I don't, like, if the frequency of this planet was so trash that, like, I don't get to be able to shift into my bodies that I know that I'm supposed to, because I'm not even supposed to be here. Like, I'm not supposed to be on this planet. Like, they stole me through the sky. So now that I'm here, if I can't get into everything I was supposed to be into in my royal status, like, can I at least have this? And they just was laughing. And they was like, let us go think about some stuff. And I was like, who am I talking to? But they never answer me when I ask, like, the spirits all the time who they're talking to. But if they got a message to get across, like, out here, they'll pop up. And I'm mostly like, I'm tired of being over here in this shit. Like, this is so mediocre and boring. I'm tired of like not being anywhere that I want to be in my physical environment. I'm tired of, like, not being connected. Like, if I was supposed to let some shit go so that I can move over to, like, my next season, okay, I'm like, but y'all didn't calculate it right. Like, why I'm still sitting down for so long? This shit is, and the transition has been horrible. I'm like, wait, I had to get physically attacked? Why would I be physically attacked? Like, I don't be knowing whether to cry and be just so hurt or what to tap into. I'm like, I rather tap into like something that would make me feel good to something to some degree at this point, because nothing that I want to do um is happening, and everything that I didn't want to happen, like that I would not have been a part of, was just like in my damn reality. I'm like, who the fuck is coming after me? Like, why is, what the hell? And then I was also getting messages like, it's okay, like I was being used as a with my permission, like you gave us permission already to use your energy to heal some of the kids that's coming through. Like, we're going after some of your kids. And I'm like spiritually, like, is this something that's going to like show in this time frame or another time? Because I'm like, I've had like a whole lot of visions, and I be walking in a whole lot of deja vu, and it just be a whole lot happening, but like it's always feel like it's underground. It don't never feel like it's it comes to fruition up here. Like, I'm active in my dream straight state all the time, and like I just be often saying like, damn, I'm like, I had a damn vision already. Like, I had like this happened already or something. Like, I have like strong, very strong, I guess that would be clear cognizance. I don't know. I guess that would be clear cognizance. But I'm like, sometimes it's uncanny. And I'm like, okay, so can we get to the good part to where it was like the money and shit involved too? Like, and the beach and like me living my best life. And I think I told them back there, like, I was making an announcement, because I have moments where I'm like, I was giving all kind of speeches, and I was telling them that coming in, we was leaving like all that jealousy and bullshit like behind the line. Like, it's gonna be a whole new set of rules, but I'm not trying to rule nobody. Like, y'all can rule yourself. So whatever y'all been used to like following under this guide, like, try to break free as much as you can of those rules and like those limitations before we get there, because this is how I want it to be structured. Like, I always say, if when you read, not just reading, but when you read, like, all books are sacred. Like, spirits are speaking to you, and depending on like how you see what you're reading, and I'm like, for me, I'm kind of like naturally interested in like a lot of the strategy and stuff, like, just period. Like, that's what I'm usually studying. The strategy, how stuff move, like how stuff operate, the leadership styles, the just all of it, like how you gonna get stuff to move effectively. Like, that's kind of like what I've been doing through everything for so long. And I'm like, it's really frustrating to know that like in so many other realms, my ass is connected to like so much affluence that always like never step up in my physical reality. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that no more. My shit ain't on loan. Who thought that I was loaning my shit out? No, give it back. Give my shit back. Y'all can't have it. Y'all can come through up here. Like, too many people been having their fucking hands on me, and they not being honorable. So I'm gonna take all of it back until y'all can figure out like what the hell that shit look like. Who the hell y'all think I am? I'm like, who they think I am? What they think I'm supposed to do? How they think this supposed to work? And they like, who is they? Who is they? What the fuck you mean, who is they? anybody that ain't invested in my ass getting us out of here. And then I'll be like, are y'all really scared to travel abroad? Like, y'all scared to leave the neighborhood still? I knew that was a thing once upon a time. Like, back in the day when I was growing up, that's still a thing. Like, y'all still like, it's too violent, they gonna hurt me. Like, y'all still doing like that little shit. Like, what? Y'all niggas still scared of like leaving home? How old is y'all? No, I need y'all to I need y'all to get it together. Like, just give me the money. Just give me the money. And everything is a hustle. Like, right now, I'm like, oh, it's too much to set too much shit up. Like, I'm like, I can try to set this up or set this up. I don't want to hustle. I don't want to hustle no more. I just want stuff to be given to me for once. I'm like, it's about time that like shit can just be handed to me. Like, them white people don't be having to. How the hell? I'm like, them white boys ain't have to ask for nothing. They ain't have to plan for nothing. They ain't have to sacrifice for nothing. Their parents was just like, hey, y'all want to be destructive too? Like, just because like I want to keep the legacy of this shit going, I'm a train your ass and then I'm gonna leave it all to you. Yeah, and I'm gonna set you up while I'm still alive so that I can make sure that like your ass is doing shit just how I want it. I gotta train you so when I die, your ass don't think that like y'all friends all of a sudden. So by the time they people die, they already been like already instilled in them how they supposed to keep the next shit going. So I'm like, we ain't gotta be they friends. Like, why we keep investing in them? Just invest in me. Invest in me. And y'all be mourning them just as hard. Like, no, I ain't honoring their asses. If your people was acting right, your ass wouldn't get hit back. Like, why they be thinking they can't get hit back? That shit gonna be a boomerang. Like, I guess they expected. And then I'm like, well, they sent his ass over there to take his spirit. Like, cause JFK died like real similar to real close to who was it? Malcolm or Martin? And you know they studying the spiritual realm and studying all y'all shit like way before y'all. I'm like, they asses is trying. Him and his wife was back there. I'm like, I be touching on all these damn old ass white dignitaries and whatever. Like, all right, but y'all gotta pay me. Like, I ain't over here because we friends, even though that's the narrative. Like, because I don't think none of y'all friends of my people. Yeah, like, no, why we still in the hood? Yeah, so let me do a side-by-side analysis. If it's my people over here, your people over there, and like, you say you was trying to help out my people, or how was you trying to help them out? Like, what was you doing, and how did the problem get there? So if you just cleaning up your people's shit, and are you really cleaning it, or do it look like it? Like, now you just part of us, and you get to just like think you gonna keep tabs and be running the other line? I don't know. But I guess if we had to lose one, they had to lose one too. And I'm like, why we be sad about it? Like, or do y'all be sad about it? Y'all like, oh, he was one of us. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He don't get no extra credit. Y'all be so ready to get extra credit for anybody except for us. Like, and I'm like, no, they don't get no kind of credit for me, extra or anything. Like, the only credit they gonna get is for being who they asses are. Fucking stealing asses. It's like, they the real corporates and they be having they fucking fingers out the window. Like, it wasn't me. Yes, it was. Like, we wasn't stealing before you got here. We already had some shit we was sharing. We was fucking sharing the land. These niggas came in and started stealing. How the hell you start stealing free shit? Like, how you decide to opt out of our damn budget quick and was like, I'm going to introduce something that like only I can know. And I'm going to use it to like keep you locked out. Are you doing it on purpose? Or do you asking for help. I haven't been able to figure out what they asses is doing. I'm like, is that where you smart at? That's your biggest accomplishment? Oh, we got to get y'all asses out the offices. Like, or no, y'all stay in those offices. Thank you for like letting me know the rules that I can have a whole bunch of other types of like government structures and I don't have to tap into none of that. Yeah. I don't have to tap into none of that. I just need everybody else to catch up. Like, do y'all know that we can start our own shit? And I'm like, it's too quiet. It's way too quiet. Like, why ain't nobody called my phone yet? Or reached out? Like, I done seen some of your stuff. I would like to have a conversation with you. I'm like, oh, because I said I want a man. I do. And I seen they asses in here talking to me. I'm like, if y'all don't know, y'all ancestors know they in here trying to figure out who is the best one to have me. And I'm like, I think a couple y'all already figured it out. What y'all trying to figure out the the details? How tapped are y'all into like soul contracts? Like when it be happening? Do they be giving y'all the messages that they doing it? Because they was just like, hey, hold up. We working for you. Just be cool. And I'm like, I can't translate that fully to the way I want. Like, how you gonna tell me to be cool and like ain't nothing happening? Why y'all just not working on it? You ain't know already? And who on the team? I be having all kind of questions. They like, you safe? Yeah, I don't feel like it. And then they like, no, we using you as a vessel to talk to some other people, some other beings. And I'm like, I don't really understand how all my gifts work. I don't understand how they all work. And sometimes I know for sure that I'm talking to specific spirits. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I don't know who I'm talking to. Like, I don't know who this is. And I ain't never scared, for real. Like, I try to keep myself pretty protected. No matter what. Like, no matter what way spirituality was coming at me. Like, I'm going to always go straight to how to be protected. Like, straight to the rules of the game. Straight to the rules of the game. Like, oh, you brought me over here. Let me see how they hold each other accountable. Because they going to have to owe me everything. I said no thank you. Like, so because I said no thank you and it wasn't honored, everything that I see is going to damn be comparable to that. Because it's like, you don't listen. You don't listen. And that God, I'm just like, where is he powerful at? Like, where do he show out on any part of the board? And then when you be like, okay, like, I don't think you protective or safe enough, I'm going to go and like clear enough or honorable enough. Like, you don't got to lead me. Like, he get mad and jealous and try to make you stay, like, make you stay outside of your will. I don't want to serve nothing like that. I don't want them attached to me. And I done had conversations in here. I'm like, I thought I told you, like, no, you can do, like, no, you can take a hike. If you let something be attached to your name, you must have liked it. Like, when the last time you go, like, I've been over here and I'm just like, I ain't really asked to talk to you no more. How you in here? Like, get out. And then sometimes he like, I've heard, like, it's not what you think. Like, it's not what you think. It's not who you think. Like, it's okay. It's not them. And also, war is war. Like, somebody did have something to say about they God because they see it differently. You like, I know, but if my journey is my journey, then however I choose to see it, or pretend that I ain't talking to yours. Like, If you can find the line, if it resonate, then you must be offended for him. Because if you couldn't see your honorable God or anything in any light with that, from what I was saying when I was breaking things down, or if I talk about the Bible or like that leadership and anything, then it wouldn't be bothering you, because you would be like, oh wow. But if that shit resonate, you mad because like, now what? You don't want to toe the line with them, and then the anger, like the frustration, be like to tell me to shut up or to come against me or to. I'm just like, y'all can't handle like a little pressure. You can't handle a couple no's or goodbyes or questions for clarity. Well, then you ain't to be followed and trusted. Ah,